Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're taking a look at the 10 biggest moments in fighting games throughout 2025. We'll be looking at the highest highs and the lowest lows that we in the FGC experienced throughout the year. Before we begin, we publish new videos all week long, so be sure to subscribe to MojoPlays and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Mai Shiranui's debut in Street Fighter 6.
Oh, you finally made it. The Shiranui clan welcomes you.
Though Terry Bogard already bridged the gap between Fatal Fury and Street Fighter 6, all eyes were, expectedly, on Mai Shiranui as the streets were about to be overflowing with caked-up shinobis everywhere. Mai turned out to be one of the best additions to Street Fighter 6 since the game's launch, and in more ways than one. Not only did she bring a unique kit made of tricky projectiles and fun combos, she was so much fun to play that she took up the online servers as folks were learning strings, setups, and which characters she could match up with. Almost unsurprisingly, she is now considered one of the best fighters in the entire game. The return of Marvel vs. Capcom? With the years-long cries from the public, many were wondering what the future of MVC looks like now that Marvel vs. Capcom collection exists. Well, on the collection's one-year anniversary in September 2025, Capcom announced that the collection had managed to sell more than 1 million units. Some believe this number is likely higher than the company has let on. Nevertheless, Capcom put out a couple of updates for MVC Collection that added some highly requested features, such as higher anti-aliasing settings and even a random select feature for MVC 2. So here's hoping this soon leads to a proper MVC 4.
Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics.
The travesty that was Tekken 8's Season 2.
I'm going to make you pay.
While Capcom was reaping its rewards within the fighting game scene, Bandai Namco Entertainment saw a very rough year with Tekken 8. Just as the game's first season wrapped up, Season 2 came in and shook up things in a way that nobody was happy with. Just about everybody on the roster got buffed in such a ludicrous way that there's almost no means of defense anymore. So many moves now have a significant frame advantage that anyone can easily pull off a combo that eats away massive chunks of health. In other words, Tekken 8 became a bully fest where newbies had no way of jumping in and competing with those who only ever play Tekken. And now, we wait with bated breath to see if Season 3 can bring things around. The only way to do that at this point, and you know it, Harada, is to bring Tifa in. To cap off this tumultuous period for Tekken, series producer Katsuhiro Harada announced his departure from Bandai Namco Entertainment and Tekken in December 2025. Harada had worked on the series since Tekken 2 way back in 1995 and became close with the community via visits to arcades, directly interacting and communicating with players, and making prominent appearances at fighting game competitions like EVO. Thank you for all your hard work, Harada-san.
サングラスしないと始まらないんだとか、あと僕サングラスしてないとファンから原田だって認識してもらえないので。
A fatal fumble for Fatal Fury.
Let's have some fun. For the love of the game.
Fatal Fury City of the Wolves was to be a grand return for SNK's classic fighting game series and a good way to give King of Fighters, its more popular fighting game series, a bit of a break. Despite the 29-year gap between this and the previous Fatal Fury, this could have been a hit until the Saudi royal family, who owns SNK, intruded on development.
Go out of my way! Go out of my way! And stop me! Like it's with yours!
The inclusion of soccer player Cristiano Ronaldo, who plays for the Saudi royal family's soccer team, drew much ire from the FGC. Much of this is because of Ronaldo's history of legal and criminal problems, which range from tax evasion to sexual assault. How badly did this affect City of the Wolves in sales? Nobody knows for sure, but there was one glaring indication of the game's performance. Kenji Matsubara stepped down from his role as SNK's CEO less than a month after the game came out. That isn't something that happens when your latest product performs well. 2XKO's strong start. For the longest time, Riot Games seemed entirely dependent on the continuous success of their famed MOBA, League of Legends. And over the course of several years, the company has spent a long time toiling away at various spin-offs, 2XKO being one of them. On October 7th, 2025, 2XKO made a big step forward and launched in early access.
And I plan on playing it. New recruits. Let's put them to the test and see what they know.
And things seem to be going very well for the 2v2 fighter. Players have found tons of crazy combinations between the 10 available fighters, and just about every match has been exciting to watch thanks to diverse movesets and abilities. Here's hoping that energy and creativity carries into 2026.
Give me your heart. You got outfoxed.
Here come some new challengers.
私の名前の通りマーベラス
While we're on the subject of new fighting games storming onto the scene, June saw a plethora of new announcements from major AAA publishers and indie developers. There were so many announcements that we even dedicated an entire video on upcoming fighting games that we're excited to play. Some of these games we'll have on our radar include Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, Invincible Versus, and Felt That Boxing. Those are the three that struck a chord with yours truly the most, but you can be certain that even more fighting games will be making their way forward within the next year, and likely eating up a lot of my time.
Do it.
The resale and re-resale of EVO.
Put on a show. Put on a show. Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Ooh. It's a
Oh
setup.
my
It's a setup.
God.
Watch the setup. Watch this. It's a setup.
One of the strangest events we saw this year was the self-sale and resale of EVO. In case you didn't know, Sony had obtained an ownership stake in EVO way back in March 2021. Since then, Sony had integrated fighting game tournaments into the PlayStation ecosystem until August 2025.
To do it for himself, he earned this, and he still has guard break on deck. There it is!
Sony wound up selling their ownership to a company called Nodwin Gaming, which turns out to be a company owned by Sony. Yes, they sold it to themselves, basically. But what really came as a shock was when the Saudi royal family suddenly acquired RTS, the company that organizes events like EVO and owned the event alongside Sony.
But he's about to get pulled out, but he's unfolding to close out EVO 2025. Goichi is your champion!
This has become a major concern because the FGC has a long history of welcoming fighting game fans regardless of race, gender, or sexual orientation. With the Saudi royal family having overstepped boundaries with SNK's products now, many folks are now worried if they'll be able to attend future EVO events comfortably.
Your Evolution 2025 Street Fighter 6 champion, Mena RD, no end in sight!
Warner Brothers' Woes. With its ownership of NetherRealm Studios and the Mortal Kombat IP, the FGC has plenty of reason to pay attention to media giant Warner Brothers. It's no secret that 2025 has been a rough year for WB. In February, Multiverses began shutting its services down with one last season, while developer Player First Games closed its doors. Then, news broke out later in the year that Sony turned down an offer to bid for Warner Bros. Games. Said Sony CEO Hiroki Totoki, quote, "We have no desire for big mergers and acquisitions deals in the US film industry right now," end quote. Shortly after that, Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection launched in a borderline disastrous state where games suffered severe lag input and audio problems. And at the time of writing, it seems that Warner Bros. Discovery as a whole will be purchased by either Paramount Skydance or the Saudi royal family. Or possibly both. Mortal Kombat's future is seemingly hanging in the balance.
Get over here!
Flawless victory.
Lucy hacks into Guilty Gear Strive.
This is some seriously odd shit.
On a lighter note, another Japanese gaming studio has been seeing some critical and commercial success. In August 2025, Arc System Works added a new fighter to Guilty Gear Strive, and it was none other than Lucy from the Netflix series Cyberpunk Edgerunners.
Makes no sense. Need to run manual diagnostics, file at a time if I got it.
With her net running and hacking abilities, players found Lucy to be one of the most creatively designed fighters that Arc System Works had ever developed. Though a tough character to get a firm hold of, Lucy's debut here has us wishing for the studio to make a cyberpunk fighting game. However, they clearly have their hands full currently with Marvel Tokon at the time of this video.
I'm lost? Forgot? What if I let it happen all over again? I need to find him.
And lastly, Tomonobu Itagaki's passing.
何を今さら。早く様、先をお急ぎください。
Of all the news that broke this year, none hit the FGC harder than when Timonobu Itagaki had passed away in October 2025. Itagaki was known as the creator of Dead or Alive, the 3D fighting game series known for its impressive graphical fidelity, its intense difficulty, and controversial sex appeal. Itagaki was known to be the heel of the industry as he trash-talked Tekken constantly while hyping up every new Dead or Alive game, even the first two Extreme spin-offs he worked on. What some saw as arrogance, others saw as exciting competition between developers, a sentiment even Tekken series producer Katsuhiro Harada shared. Itagaki was also responsible for rejuvenating Ninja Gaiden with the franchise's transition to 3D, and its heavy crossover with Dead or Alive's leading ladies, Kasumi and Ayane. Though his passing was a dark day, it was heartwarming to see the entire FGC come together and celebrate the man and his work. R.I.P. Itagaki-san, and thank you for bringing us one of the best fighting games ever made. Was there a moment within the FGC that hit you hard or maybe made you rejoice? Let us know what you think down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to MojoPlays.